Hey, what's wrong with you, man? You ain't subscribed yet? IUIC Atlanta Burning 2.0. What you waiting on? Get it done. Do it now.
Hey, get them clicks, get them likes, and subscribe. Do it now.
What's your name again? You say you the one that just got off work? Both of y'all just got off work? Okay. I'm gonna ask a question. Can we agree that when you look at our society as a whole today, more specifically the younger generation, are they like how we was when we was growing up? I know y'all are a little bit older than me, but I remember growing up and having to be in the house when the street light came on. Now, it's not even close. So now, you guys being elders in the community, why do you think that that's the case? And I ask that question because it's important to what he's talking about. Because he's going over with you about the imagery and what's actually in the Bible and then what's taught to us today. And it directly relates to the conditions that you see in our communities today. I know you said I gotta go, but I want y'all to understand that in these next few minutes, in this conversation we're gonna have, you're gonna learn more in this next conversation than you have in the past 20, 30 years.
That's right.
I guarantee it. So now, why do you think that that's the case? What has changed? What's different now than what was different back then?
I would say that for the most part, people have become more accepting of what's not right.
People have become more accepting of what's not right. Okay, I like that. Expound. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, for example, there was a time if you was gay or felt like you was gay,
Okay.
you stayed in the closet.
So we can agree that when we was growing up, it wasn't cool to, but people weren't just coming out the closet like that, right? So now all of a sudden, everybody has their own truth, and now they coming out, even to the point where R. Kelly made a song, "I'm cleaning out my closet," and making it to be more popular today than it ever has been. Right. But again, my question is, why? What has happened? What has changed from then to now to make that to where it's just so easy? What do you think?
And really, I would say
It feels good though.
Okay.
You know
I
what I'm
would say
saying?
a big part of it,
Really
you got
good.
babies having babies.
Babies having babies, okay.
And these mothers
How you
today,
doing, brother?
They still trying to be out there.
To the young sister.
Instead of raising their kids,
Okay.
fathers just absent.
Okay. So we have absent fathers and we have mothers raising babies. Okay. Why do you think that that's the case? Because again, remember, we used to push the idea of marriage, right? A man would find him one wife, and they raise the nation. They have babies and establish the community, and everybody will be good. We come together, we have our barbecues or whatever. But then now we can't even come together without us arguing and fighting or somebody getting shot.
Right.
There's a lot that has changed. We're talking about what? We can even go back to what, the 60s and 70s, not that long ago, but things were a little bit easier going. I would say things kind of started changing towards the 80s when crap kind of came in, right? And then after that, it's just been crazy, right? So in regard to what he was explaining, I want to show you something to kind of help lend the idea as to why these things have happened, all right? Read Psalm 74 and verse 4.
Psalms chapter 74 and verse 4. Thine enemies roar in the midst of thy congregation.
So now let's examine it. It says that your enemies roar throughout your congregations. What do you think that means? What do you think it means if your enemy is roaring against you? What do you think that means? No, I got an even better question. Who is our enemy? Who's our enemy? Satan. Okay, I can agree with that. Satan. Family, yourself. Okay. All right. As a nation of people, who is our enemy?
I just feel like it's a whole gang of answers for the questions that you asked.
And I would agree with that. And I like your answer as well. Because I would agree to a certain extent that, yes, we are our own worst enemy. Because we kill each other, right? We sell drugs to one another.
Right.
Here's the thing, though. Do any of us own any chemical labs to manufacture these drugs? Do any one of us know how to manufacture guns?
No.
Does anybody know how to create their own bullets? Where we
You
get this
know?
stuff from? So now I'm going to ask the question again. As a nation of people, who is our enemy?
Well, I'm gonna answer that like this.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the right thing,
Okay.
but then I'm gonna say self, because you don't have to do nothing this man trying to get you.
Okay. I like that. All right. So now let me finish the next part. It says the enemy has roared through the congregation. Right? Read.
They set up their ensigns.
So now, after they've come through our neighborhoods, it says that they have set up their ensigns. Does anybody know what an ensign is? That's a part of it. But the ensigns is their imagery. It's their imagery. And the reason why that's important is because when you look at every other nation on the face of this earth, for example, Chinese people, they have a God that looks like them. You look at all nations of people, they have a God that looks like them.
Right.
But when we go to church, what does our God look like? Looks like this man right here.
Right.
Now, you got to understand the psychological trauma that happens when that's the case. And I speak that because I'm sure at some point we've all gone to church, right? With our aunties and our mamas. And we did it because we thought that that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to go to church and we're supposed to learn God and everything's going to be all good and God going to bless us. We're going to give a couple of dollars and God going to bless us, right? But it seemed like the more we went to church and the more money we gave, the more in debt we became and the more violence started spreading. And then what you said, the men started going to jail and the sisters started having babies on top of babies on top of babies. So what happened? Where's the disconnect? It's because you're worshiping a deity. Not only does he not look like you, but he is nowhere in this book.
That's right.
This right here is a lie. And that's why what he's explaining to you is so important. See, what we've been taught. Did you guys know that nowhere in this book is the word Christianity? This is the King James Holy Bible. King James Holy Bible. Nowhere in this book is the word Christianity at all.
Wake him up.
So now we got a problem then. If that's the case, if the word Christianity is not in the Bible at all, then why do we say that that's what we believe? Why is it the number one religion that our people find ourselves in? And then going to church every single Sunday when he read to you that God is the Lord of the Sabbath day. But then we go to church on Sunday. That's the first day of the week. You see, and so what has happened is all this stuff being mixed up. And we thinking that we're something that we're actually not.
Right.
For example, if I were to ask you, young brother, what is your nationality? I want y'all to pay attention. What's your nationality? The nation of people you come from? You're not sure? Okay, what about you, brother? What would you say your nationality is? African American? Okay, what about you? African American? African American? Okay, cool. So we all agree African American, right? Okay. So we do realize that Africa is a whole completely separate continent, and so is America. So you can't really be two places. You can't be from Africa and America. So then we're from where? We're from Africa. We say Africa. It's 54 countries in Africa. Which one do we come from? Because real African people will tell you, oh, I'm from the Congo. I'm from Ethiopia. I'm from Niger. I'm from here. I'm from Tanzania. I'm from all these different places. We say African American. This is what has happened. Read.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
God says that we're going to discontinue from the heritage that he gave us. God gave us a heritage, not a religion.
That's right.
Okay? God gave us a heritage, not a religion. What is heritage? What does that mean? What is heritage? What is that? Okay, history. Okay. Okay, history of your family. Your roots. Okay. What about you? What about you? Your heritage. Could we say? Okay, so both are correct answers. Could we also say this the holidays that we celebrate? That's a part of our heritage. For example, you got the Chinese New Year. They have their own celebration that they can have. Or what about how you and I treat each other as men? That's a part of our heritage, right? Because when I see you, I'm going to show you the respect that an elder deserves. I'm going to look at you. I'm going to look at you like you're my brother. Just because we have a disagreement doesn't mean we got to come to blows. Sometimes people disagree. But as men, we can talk it out. And sometimes we can just walk away and just agree to disagree. You see what I'm saying? But it don't have to be so much violence. That's a part of our heritage. Even the way that we deal with and treat our women, that's a part of our heritage. What about the foods that we eat? They say we like chicken and watermelon. That's what they say. Now listen, that's funny to me because I'm gonna keep it real. Chicken is good and watermelon is good, so I'll take that one. I'm cool with it.
Well, you know,
Especially in the summertime, a good cold watermelon.
You know, they relate blacks to a whole lot of things. Okay, they see black folks eating chicken, they see black folks eating watermelon, so they say, well, black folks like steak too. How come you ain't saying nothing about that?
That's called a stereotype. Yeah. And what they're trying to do is compartmentalize us. Put us in this one box and say, this is all that we can ever achieve, and this is the best that we can absolutely be. Right? So now, again, God never gave us a religion. Nowhere in this book can you find religion, but you will find heritage. Right. And that's why what he's explaining to you is so important, because God's heritage is his people. His people are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that's on that sign.
That's
God's
right.
heritage looks like him.
That's right.
Ecclesiastes chapter 17, verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance.
So he gave us his law as our heritage. But it says, besides this, he gave them knowledge. Now, come on. It don't matter what circle you in. Tell me we're not the best poets.
Right.
Tell me we're not the best artists.
Right.
That's right.
We're the only people that can be in the condition that we in. No matter where in America you go, our people will always be in the hood, somewhere on a Martin Luther King Boulevard, somewhere. Always in the hood, right? But tell me we know how to thrive in that bad condition. We know how to come together. We know how to make poverty work. The government said we in a recession. I already couldn't pay my bills. That ain't nothing new to me, because we learn how to thrive in bad situations.
That's right.
But that's not what God says we're supposed to be doing. We're talking about the same invisible air that we breathe right now. Science will tell us that we breathe in oxygen. Maybe, I don't know. But what I know is that the God that created it said that you are his children. And if you are his children, then think about how important that is. Think about if you were the king of the state of Georgia. Not a president, supersede that, right? So you're the king. Wouldn't it stand to reason that your offspring would be wealthy as well too? You would think that, right? So if God is our father and we are his children, why are we in the ghettos every single where we go? Not just in the United States of America, but across the world. Right. If Africa is one of the most plenteous continents on the face of this earth, why don't they own anything? We pick cotton for hundreds of years and don't own one stock in cotton.
Right.
We go to the Japanese people and go buy our shirts. We get the 5 for 20.
Right.
We go to the sock man and get our socks. We get 50 socks for $10.
Right.
We don't own none of those things, yet we picked it for years and years and years. The disconnect. What happened? And it says, besides this, he gave us knowledge and the law of life as our heritage. What has happened is, we say, God, we don't want your heritage. That's what happened. From the book of Genesis to the book of Revelation, it's all about God and his interaction with his people. Other people are mentioned in regards to their relationship to the Israelites, because that's who we are. We are the Israelites.
That's right.
We are God's chosen people.
Right.
The one who the kingdom of heaven is said to be for. All of the riches and glory of God pertains to you. But the reason we don't know that is because we keep constantly making a choice to do the opposite of what God said.
Right.
So the heritage that he gave us, very simple. And for example, one of the laws that God gave us was that a man should have a beard on his head. And the reason when God gives us laws, he doesn't just do it just to be doing it, right? It's not just, I want you to eat clean and do this just because I don't got nothing better for you to do. He designed us a very specific way. Let me give you an example. Leviticus 11. Let me give you the fish. Let's go to the fish first. A part of the heritage that God gave us was our diet, how we're supposed to eat, right? Now, think about it. God made all the animals on the face of this earth, right? Some of the animals we eat, some of them we can't eat. Some animals we just absolutely can't eat because you'll die if you eat it. Right? But if that's the case, watch this, read.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 9.
We're talking about God's heritage, right? And one of the laws that he gave us that pertains to us. Read.
These shall ye eat of all that are in the water.
So now we're talking about things that we can eat out of the water. We're talking about fish, right? How many of you eat crab and shrimp? You don't eat that? What you eat? No shellfish at all?
Yeah, but I eat fish.
What about you? Do catfish? Okay, all right, cool. Very good. What about you, brother? As far as what's in the water, what do you eat? You eat shrimp, crabs? You ever try shark, duck, and stuff like that? They say shark and octopus is a delicacy. No, thank you.
I won't find that out.
Right, I
There's
agree
certain
with you.
things I'm just not going to eat.
I got you. I understand.
I don't eat catfish and tilapia because they're bottom feeders.
Okay. So watch this. Now, I like what you said. I'm going to show you why God says this. Read.
Whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
So God says, if anything is in the water and it has both fins and scales, that it's okay for you to eat. Read.
And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, and all that move in the waters, and of the living which in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
All right, so now we have the adverse, meaning if there's anything in the water that does not have both fins and scales, God says it's an abomination to you. So now let's examine that, right? So the brother said he doesn't eat catfish. Catfish they have fins, but they don't have no scales. So when you look at in comparison to different fish, the fins and scales, like you know how like when we're outside and we're sweating, like our body has a way of filtering different poisons and things out of us, right? Well, animals, more specifically fish that don't have those fins and scales, can't get that poison out of their bodies. Like sharks, for example, they have fins, but they don't have scales. They have something in their system called urea that they store up. The urea is pretty much what makes our urine yellow. So they store that in their bodies. But then people eat shark, and then we wonder why we get mercury or iodine poison, or why we getting. Think about if you put a bottle feeder in your body, what is that going to do to your body? Yet catfish is a delicacy among our people. So is the crab. So is the shrimp. Neither one of those have fins and scales. You see what I'm saying? But you see what I'm saying? But the reason I'm explaining that is because that's the heritage that God gave us. The laws that He gave us, it was designed for us to live according, like it was a standard that we're supposed to live by. This is the standard, right? Do this, don't do this, behave like this, and it was supposed to be an example for everybody else in the world to do what we do. But we said, I like my crab, even the pork. Obviously, we're not supposed to be eating the pork. Or we love pork chop. We love some pulled pork. Pork is another delicacy in our community. But what does pork do to your body? Well, I'll ask a better question. When you look at other cultures, like for example, Chinese people, right? They eat pork and stuff as well. But aren't they some of the leanest people that you see? You very seldom see overweight Asian people.
That's right.
Very seldom. Not saying that they don't exist, but you very seldom see it. But here's it. They eat bats and octopus and shark. They eat all kind of weird stuff. So why is it that they can eat those things and don't have nowhere near the health concerns that we do? Oh, maybe it's because God says that we are His heritage, and that's what we're not supposed to be doing. So when we disobey what God tells us to do, we can't really get mad when we get gout and high blood pressure and all this other nonsense. God already told you it's poison to your body. It's poison to your body. What we should do is eat nutritious things. Things that, like chicken is good, turkey is good, beef is good. Like we have a blend. Like there's a lot of things in the Bible that we can eat that God says it's okay for us to eat. And that's just some of the little small things. I'm gonna bring your brother back up, but I want y'all to understand, because I know you said I had to go. I want you to understand the importance of what it is he's explaining in regard to this imagery. Because with this imagery comes this mindset. Think about it from the perspective of the little kids, right? When you turn on the TV, we see a white Superman, we see a white Spider-Man, and a white Doctor Strange. And all the characters are white, but who they give us? We get Hancock. He was a drunk, and he was in jail.
That's right.
We get, who was it? Luke Cage. He was an angry black man that could take a bullet. So why is my superpower being able to take oppression? I just gotta just take it. That's all he had. Why can't we fly? Oh well, Hank can fly, but he was a drunk. But that's the imagery that they put out there, and this is what our babies have to look forward to. So imagery is everything. It's important because what's put on the TV is that we're a bunch of thugs and we're in gangs and we're homicidal and we're this and we're that. Our people are some of the coolest people on the face of this earth.
Right.
That's right.
Again, the best painters.
Right.
The first black man decided he wanted to turn his hat backwards, and then now everybody in the world want to do it.
That's
The
right.
first hip hop is all in China and Japan now. Why? Because one black man decided to do it.
Right.
When the Bible says that you are the salt of this earth,
That's
it means
right.
that the earth wouldn't have no flavor. What does salt do for food? It get a little bit of flavor, right? And that's a different conversation too, because the real enemy is actually sugar. Salt is in moderation. Salt is okay, but the sugar is what was the damaging thing. But the point I'm making though is that it's heritage. It's this whole Bible. It's all about heritage, 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 and so much so to where like young brothers like, what's your name, young brother? What's your name? Unique. How old are you? 15. I want y'all to watch this. If you don't mind me asking, young brother, who is your favorite artist today? Like, what kind of music you listen to? No. So look, I'm not making fun of you. I'm only asking because I want to help you to understand something that's different now than what it was back when I was kind of growing up, right? So who would you say you listen to now? Come a little closer. I can hear you. I can't really hear you. Can you listen to Drake? Okay. Y'all know who Drake is? Okay. Yeah, so you OG, so okay. Okay, you take the pentagram. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. Who said just Drake was it? Okay, all right, cool. So if you don't mind me asking, give me Lamentations chapter 5, I'm thinking about verse 14. So describe the message and the music when you were coming. What was the message?
The message in my music was all about love.
Okay. And then fast forward to when hip hop first comes on the scene, can we say that it was positive? When hip hop first came on the scene?
Well,
I'm not talking about NWA. I'm talking about before that.
Oh, well, I mean, I would have to say it had a positive message.
Right?
there.
Like, have you ever heard of Queen Latifah? Yep. She has a song called UNITY, Unity. Right? What does Drake talk about? He talks about taking other people's women and ops and this and stuff like that. And then that's what our babies listen to. How long have you been listening to Drake? So before Drake, who was you listening to? Okay, all right, cool. So the message that those brothers are talking about, generally speaking, is about the same demise that everybody else is speaking about, because that destruction has now become popular because a white man decided to put money behind it.
Right.
Remember, everything is going to keep going back to imagery. It's going to keep going back to heritage, because what's not supported by us, the book of Psalms in the Bible is a book full of songs. It's a book full of songs. We talked about war. We talked about looking out for each other. We prayed to God as our songs. Think about how uplifting that would be if we had that today. And to the point where it's pushed and pushed and pushed in the community. To where, have you ever had a situation where you heard a song for the first time and then you didn't like it? And then you kept hearing it and the radio kept playing it and all of a sudden now you like it now? First things are possible to do. Well, why is that the case? Because if they keep pushing it into your brain, you're forcing yourself on. Now all of a sudden you start learning the song.
You become accepted.
And so now think about what happens with the music today. Not even just the music, but social media.
That's right.
Social media like that, your Facebooks and your Twitter. Watch this though. I'm gonna show you what the design for social media in the Bible. Read.
First Esdras, chapter 5, verse 73. And by their secret plots and popular persuasions and commotions, they hindered the finishing of the building.
Now, so it says, by their secret plots and popular persuasion, they were able to hinder us building together. So let's examine it. A secret plot that was a form of popular persuasion. So a form of persuasion that's popular would be your social media. The Bible says popular persuasion. We just say Facebook and Twitter today. Because tell me, the first girl got on social media and she had the little long spiky fingernails. Now all the women want to do it. Every time you go on social media, TikTok, there's always a new trend that somebody else has started. So what happens is these things get pushed, and then our babies, they just follow the trend. Follow the trend. No matter what it is, but it's to our demise. But it said the point of it was to hinder us from building together.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, His word.